reviews. You're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.
The Friday Frothy. The Friday Frothy.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Friday Frothy for another special interview here. This week, we had the pleasure of talking to the Sooner football fans who are based in Oklahoma, the United States, also being affected by the coronavirus at the moment. And look, we're probably going to have a couple of little glitchy moments because of the internet where the whole world is trying to use it at once. But hang in there, guys. These people are a lot of fun, and we've just done a podcast for their show. And we'll have links up on our Facebook page of how to get onto that. But they're quite a bit of fun, and we're going to talk a bit of gridiron and a bit of Australian rules football. Glennie's about to join me in a minute, and we'll go from there. So please enjoy the Sooner football fans. Welcome to the Friday Frothy. We are international this evening. As you can see on the screen, we've got Glennie there on the right. How are you, Glennie?
Very good, mate. Yeah, good.
Big night tonight, mate. As you can see in the middle of the screen, we have the Sooner football fans, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. These guys are over in Oklahoma, the United States, and they've kindly come onto our show. We've just done a podcast on their podcast show, and that'll be up soon, and we'll put that up on our Facebook page so you can have a listen. Quite an entertaining show, guys. Welcome.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Great to have you. Very interesting little talk we had before. About an hour, Glenn, we were on their podcast talking about Australian rules football and all the things that happen in Australia, such as, what was it, guys? Outback Steaks?
Steakhouse. Yeah, we learned that there are no Outback Steakhouses in Australia.
Not in the
And
Outback.
you can't-
I was just saying, mate, in Brisbane, Gold Coast, there is steakhouses there at Coolangatta. I thought they had a similar name, but we're not talking out the Outback.
No. I think they were Bonanzas or something, right?
No, there was Outback something. There's one on the Gold Coast there. But I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's the same thing.
Yeah, don't know, Glenn. Don't know.
Hey, you know, steaks that big and you got to be able to eat it. That joint.
Not
No,
sure.
it doesn't.
Not sure. But anyway, guys, who we got there? We've got Terry, Rob, and Caleb.
Yep, that is correct.
That's Terry?
I'm the pretty one.
Something's all enough.
Right here.
We're all in bad shape if that's the case, right?
Beautiful work. Guys,
He's the wrong hand.
Caleb.
I shouldn't have shaved my head off. It looked like ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, you idiot. Guys, welcome so much to the show. Really, really pleased to have a talk to you. And we got some questions for you tonight about your national sport, which we call gridiron here, and you guys just call football. If you're interested in hearing about any of that, guys, as I said, we'll have a post on our Facebook page so you can listen to the podcasts of the Sooner football fans. But, guys, my first question is, obviously, you're in Oklahoma, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. You're being affected very much by the corona over there, guys?
A little bit.
Yeah.
All of us have right now what we call essential jobs. I work in home health care, so mine's really essential, so I'm dealing with it 24/7 just about. Rob, you want to?
I work in sports entertainment, so there is no sports going on anywhere in the nation. So I'm still considered an essential employee for whatever reason, I don't know. But so I'm still working, but only for now.
And I drive an icy truck, and I'm still essential, I guess. So ices is like a frosty drink, frozen drink.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah. So I'm still essential right now, but no one's buying them, so see how long I'm out on the road because no one wants to go out and get ices right now.
Do you have beer trucks driving around?
Yeah. Liquor stores are essential and they have to stay open. Yes, liquor stores are very essential right now.
Yeah, they're called bottle shops over there.
Yes.
Bottle shop liquor.
They are. Now, guys, the reason we're talking to you guys tonight is the fact that we went on a cruise recently, Glenn's family and my family, and we met up with a guy there called Donnie, and he put us in touch with you guys. And since then, I've been listening to your podcast and I've been watching things. I cannot get over the amount of people who attend a college football game. Why is it so big?
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, here in Oklahoma, we don't have any pro teams or any pro football teams. We have a pro basketball team. But the University of Oklahoma, the Sooners are, we're always a perennial top collegiate team. And so on Saturday, a football game here at the University of Oklahoma, there'll be 90,000 people in the stand. Over 100,000 just in. So on game days, Norman, where the University of Oklahoma is at, it becomes the second largest city in Oklahoma on game day. So I don't know why it's so popular, but
Well, I think some of it is college football, the pageantry behind it, the history behind it. Going all the way back to the early 1900s, teams have been playing each other. And there's pro football, which there's not really any pageantry. You got guys making millions of dollars. You got teams like Oklahoma, our Sooners. We have the Pride of Oklahoma marching band. We have our fight song, Boomer Sooner. We have the oldest all-male pep squad in college football or in the country, called the Roughnecks. And if you've seen Oklahoma football, every time Oklahoma scores a down or scores a point, the schooner comes out, a horse-drawn wagon, and it comes out, circles the field, and comes back. Those are the type of pageantries that every football team has of some sort. Of course, we believe ours are the greatest pageantries of all, but everybody has, our arch rivals to the south, the Texas Longhorns, who wear ugly burnt orange. They have a giant cow as their mascot, Bevo, which a cow in Oklahoma we call lunch. So
throw a baked potato in there. Yeah, we're good to go.
But it's the pageantry. Everywhere, every college, major college has such a following and a love for the game. I mean, Oklahoma has it, Alabama. There are people who've had season tickets for generations, going back to the 30s.
They just pass it down through the family.
Okay. Look, it's funny when you talk about the numbers, 90,000 to 100,000. We just spoke on your podcast about our football teams, and North Melbourne AFL, we probably get 30,000 to a game here in Australia. Glenn's team might get, 50, 60? How many do we get to a grand final, Glenn?
Well, it used to be around about 100, 105, but probably around about 95, 97.
But these guys are getting those sort of crowds every week for college football. It's incredible.
That's massive.
Yeah, Caleb just brought up Michigan and Tennessee. They have their seats, their college stadiums are 110,000.
Yeah, their stadium's called the Big House. That's how many people they sit in
Michigan
there.
Wolverines.
Yeah, it's called the Big House.
Wow. And then Terry's. Sorry, Glenn, you're right.
I was just going to say, we call the big house a prison. I agree.
Good point. Terry has sent through some footage of the Sooners playing and the crowd, and I love the tradition of when the opposition goes to kick. What do you call it? A field goal or a conversion?
Field goal, a field goal or extra point.
Yep.
There's a net behind the goal that's supposed to catch the ball so it doesn't go in the crowd. It rarely does, And part of our tradition on our fans is that they get the opponent's football and they start throwing it to the top of the stadium. And then if y'all guys get to play that video, it's hilarious because we throw it to the top of the stadium and we throw it out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Is committed to our community through the Youth program.
You would think it would be. It's kind of known that Oklahoma does that. It's not like it's a big deal, that the opponents are all upset. There's usually, especially when you play Oklahoma, you're going to have somebody out there to catch the ball. So most of the opponents have somebody standing outside the stadium, waiting for us to throw the ball out. So
it's also they can afford to get footballs too, so it's not a big deal for them.
How was the season going for Oklahoma over there before all the? Did it get away? Did it end up starting or no? Because of the coronavirus?
The season started in late August.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It starts August till January 2nd is when the national championship is. So, so it's about 12 weeks. It's a 12 weeks season, yeah.
Is that all?
And then we got like a month off, and then the playoffs start, and then the national championship happens.
But here it's not just about football. We follow recruiting. We follow off-season stuff. So we're always looking at what the Sooners are doing, the football team anyway. So
the basketball got canceled. The tournament got canceled here, and then baseball and softball, which softball here is huge because we have one of the best teams in the country in softball. And the World Series is there in Oklahoma City as well, and those seasons got canceled as well too. So all spring sports are done.
And I'll just throw in, Caleb, that you guys at Oklahoma were supposed to have the WrestleMania 36 as well, but that was cancelled and taken away, wasn't it?
Talk wrestling with Caleb. He's a wrestler.
Apparently that's on now with no fans at all, which is weird to me. Like they're just doing empty stadium.
Anyway, does
Oh.
Yeah.
It's real. Just ask Glenn.
That's real.
Have you watched any of the wrestling without any crowd? It is woeful.
It's funny to me. I've seen a couple of things. The clips are funny because they do a lot of cut stuff now, and so I think that's hilarious to me, honestly.
So Glenn, you're a big fan of WrestleMania?
Was I? Look, I can remember being about a snowy. Well, it's not snowy anymore. It's gone. Being about a 7-year-old boy going to the wrestling with my old man. He's passed now, but I remember going to the wrestling and watching it live back in the good old days. And of course, it might have been a little bit more real then, but unfortunately, I did watch it through the teens, and now it's just entertainment, mate. It's entertainment plus.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's
Now,
all
guys,
it's worth, really. Kind of
just
like soccer.
just on no, it's not real. Just on numbers you were talking about before. How many would you get to a National Football League game? So the pro game. Are the numbers the same as college?
I think college has bigger stadiums. Well, big colleges, I think their stadiums are bigger. The difference between like NFL and college is like college fans are more passionate. You got the bands playing, you have people growing up. NFL it's a business, so like people it's not as passionate as college is. But I'd say stadium wise though, I think college stadiums are a little bit, and they're definitely way more louder than NFL stadiums are. Sure.
It is. Is it true that? Sorry, Rob.
No. Most your NFL stadiums are about 80 to 90,000 seaters. They're not. I think the Seattle has the biggest.
Right now,
yeah, Dallas might too. That place is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's around the college towns, because people will come to games just to come into town and tailgate and hang out around the football. So people out tailgating, watching and then they don't go home for another 3 or 4 hours when it's done.
Yeah, and big difference too is college is mostly small towns. Like the pros is on big cities. College is mostly like small towns and states. They aren't in major cities. They're all just in like suburbs or all out in the middle of nowhere.
So what's What's the tailgate?
Tailgating is what's done before a game. It's called tailgating because back in the day, you'd meet in the parking lot, drop a pickup truck tailgate, drink beer, get ready for the game, eat some food. Now it's more pageantry. I mean, it's all around the stadium. People, put up the pop-up tents. They get out their smokers, their barbecue grills, cold drinks, and about 3 or 4 hours before the game, everybody sits around and
Big pregame party.
big pregame party.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It's a reason to drink, honestly. It's not about it.
Your kind of sport, Glenn?
Huh?
Your kind of sport?
I'm just wondering when all this is over, so we're going to have to move to Oklahoma by the sounds of it.
Sounds like a good place.
And then when the game's over, all the people that tailgated before the game usually sit around for about 3 hours after the game, and 2 or 3 hours, and finish the food and drink that they didn't finish before they went into the game.
So how long does the day go for?
Depending on what time kickoff is,
Which for us is normally 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Normally for you, they hate us.
if we do a tailgate, a big tailgate for fans, and if it's an 11 o'clock kickoff, we're there by 5 a.m. Setting up and getting everything going, and then start telling people to come about 8 or 9, and then it goes until kickoff. You go in the game. The game's 3 or 4 hours. And we usually come home about 6 o'clock, so it's an all day affair.
Then night games.
Yeah, night games. You start tailgating at noon. If the kickoff's at 7, you start tailgating at noon, and hope you make it home.
I was going to say, if I had all that time leading up to the game, I said I wouldn't even get to the first kickoff. I don't reckon I'd be out on the back.
Some people don't. Some people don't.
There's a good friend of ours on Twitter and hangs out with us. He has a big tailgate. Comes over. His nickname is Demo, and I promise you, Demo has never been to an Oklahoma football game sober.
Well,
No, he did. He did once as an adult. He did once because he had a migraine.
So the game itself, how long does it actually go for? Because I've seen and heard that the national game, they put an ad on TV after every play. Is that right?
No.
After every kickoff, timeout, there's there's a lot of commercials, but I think a college game's about 3.5 hours, give or take or so, something like that. If it goes normal regulation, yeah, I think it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
something like that.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Guys, this will be a bit of interest for some of our viewers here in Australia, and we talked about this on your podcast. What are your thoughts exactly on helmets and pads for the gridiron players, but we don't have them on our Australian rules players or rugby league players? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that we shouldn't have helmets. I think helmets cause concussions personally because they use it as a weapon now. If they have a helmet on, they wouldn't use it as a weapon. Pads, I don't mind, but I think helmets. I think it could be better without helmets, personally. Plus, you can see their faces, too. So, they actually get more famous. It's the most popular sport in America, but they're the most famous athletes in America. Unless you're a quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
What do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, and we're not talking Australian rules because it is a different game, but the rugby league and union, they don't wear helmets, and probably for the reason that Terry and that was saying earlier that perhaps I suppose they're never going to change it now. I don't reckon they should wear helmets personally, but if they can tackle correctly like they're meant to, and they can get that into their game the same trying to do down here, I think it might be the way to go. But I suppose it's been there ever since the game started. Probably not going to change now.
No. They won't change it.
I don't think. No, but there you go.
No, I agree with you, mate. I think it should stay the same. Now, guys, the Sooners, for people over here who don't watch Gridiron, we get a fair bit of it on Foxtel, and actually local TV as well, we get to see a bit of it. So there's a fair bit of coverage in Australia. But for those who don't watch, what can you tell us? Can you tell us how you score, how a down works, what's a touchdown worth, and what's a field goal worth? Rob, you've been picked.
Okay. I can't remember all the questions, but a touchdown is 6. Extra point is 1 point, and you kick that. So total of 7. If you don't score a touchdown, you can kick a field goal, and that's worth 3. So there's one more way to score points, and that's a touchback. If your defense tackles the offense in their end zone, that's worth 2 points.
Safety.
Oh, what did I say?
Touchback.
Touchback. Yeah. Safety. Sorry about that. So normally everybody's going for the touchdown. So what was the other question?
How down works? So you've got 4 plays, haven't you, before you have to turn the ball over?
Yeah.
So from what I can see, the difference between Australian football and American football is there's a lot more structure because the Australian game just kind of keeps going. There's never really a stoppage in play. Between every down, once the play is over, the offense huddles up and then they run the next play. So there's a stoppage and it's just a little bit more, I don't want to use the word organized because there's a negative connotation there, but the stoppage between plays so that you can kind of gather back up and get back in position and then run the next play. So there seems to be a lot more structure in the way Americans play gridiron as opposed to the Australian rules football. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, for people that in like watching our show, if we go back to the basics, I know me and Jeff know a little bit about it, but I think you asked me the question, how many were on a Australian rules football ground? In gridiron, just for the people down here that probably don't know the game that well of gridiron, how many make up a side in gridiron, and who take the field, and how many substitutes have you got?
So they can carry 16 on the roster. There's 11 defensive players going against 11 offensive players. And then if you make a first down or a touchdown, then you punt the ball, and now you're playing defense. So your offense goes off the field, and your defensive players come on.
Then subs, we get like unlimited subs. They sub after every play pretty much.
Unlimited subs.
Yeah.
Unlimited subs, yes.
You get 4 plays, to get 10 yards. So as long as you keep getting 10 yards within 4 plays, you keep moving the ball down the field.
It's a 100-yard field too.
And it's a 100-yard field, 50 some odd yards wide. There's a bunch of different players that make up, the offense. You have offensive linemen, dirt eaters. What else are they called?
Hog mollies.
Yeah.
Those are the big boys up front.
The guys that make the game happen is the lineman.
Anywhere from 6'5" to 6'8", probably 320, to 350-pound guys.
Yeah. If you don't have a good old line, your team's done for.
Yeah.
They control everything.
Of course, you got the quarterback who's the princess of the team. He's the one that gets all the glory. Everybody follows him.
Princesses is receivers. Receivers are princesses. Yeah. The quarterback's more like the king, pretty much.
You got running backs. You have wide receivers that catch the ball. Tight ends, and then on the defensive side, you got the defensive front, which, like Rob said, are your giant, hog mollies that want to stuff up the run, keep another team from running the ball.
The linemen are they're freaks. They're one of the biggest freaks on the field. They're like 6'8", 300 pounds. We're like a 4'5".
These guys are bench pressing like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean, these are big boys.
And then you got defensive ends, linebackers. Linebackers are kind of the quarterbacks of the defense. They call the plays. They let everybody know what's going on. And those guys are probably the best athletes on the field.
Probably.
D-backs too.
Them and but the linebacker, they got to get side to side really fast. They got to fill gaps. A whole lot goes on in their head. And then, of course, you got your defensive backs, which cover passes. Those guys, like Caleb said, they are really athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking fast, can jump out of a gymnasium. I mean, it's and a lot of those guys hit. I mean, if an opponent runs, they come out, they can put the pads on them pretty quickly.
Right. Okay. And it's a turnover on 4, isn't it? Is the jet turnover on 4?
Yeah, if you don't get 10 yards in 4 plays, you're go for it on 4th down or to punt.
Yeah. If you punt it and then when it changes the field, you get like 50 yards or so, turn the field around. If you go for it, you're risking giving the ball right there where you have it at, which means that the other team has it in good field position, which is a better chance for them to score.
Yep. So
a lot of strategy going into American football. You run one play to set up another play or something like that.
So after each play, they all get together in a little huddle and talk about the next play that they're going to make, and then the quarterback goes back. The ball's snapped. Listen to me, Glenn. I know all the terminology here. The ball is snapped back to him. But what is he yelling? Because he's yelling number 25, 36, 54, hut. What do those numbers mean?
He's reading defense, so he has multiple options, and pretty much he does a couple of things. He sees what they're in for a man in zone, and then he goes off of what they're doing, so he can change the plays. They give him options, and they huddle up. You run this play, or this play, or this play. And he reads defense, and he goes which play works best for him to get better yards or something like that. So that's what that
Or he's
is.
talking about their mom. I'm not
And are they mic'd up?
College, no. Pros, yes.
Yeah.
Pros, they have it in their heads. And college football, it's usually, if you see the sideline, there would be like 5 guys standing over there, and all of them be doing this. And only one of those guys is the play caller. But they have several guys, so nobody's stealing their plays. In pros, they put a microphone in the or a speaker in the helmet, so the quarterback gets can communicate, and so can usually it's a linebacker on the defensive side. And if you watch gridiron football, as you guys call it, the quarterback will always have a dot, a fluorescent dot on the back of his helmet. And somebody on the defense has a fluorescent dot. That tells the referees who is allowed to listen to get the plays. So one guy on offense, one guy on defense. But in college football, it's a big deal because teams will steal your signals. If they figure out your signal, you're in trouble. I mean, if they both offensively and defense, because you've got guys on the side giving hand signals, and if somebody figures that out, they can start figuring out what you're going to do the next play.
Mm.
And with the punter,
all known as
yeah,
we said all known as cheating. You shouldn't be stealing people's signs.
What's the actual punter? What's the actual punter do apart from kicking the ball forward off to starting the game and whatnot? What does he do after he's kicked? Where does he go?
That's all he does.
He stands on the sideline.
We have like anywhere from 2 to 3 kickers.
What's he do for
a guy
time?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, we have 3 guys. Some teams have 3 guys. You have a guy that kicks field goals, a guy kicks off, does a kickoff beginning of the game, and you have a punter. And all they do is kick the ball, and that's it.
And they get their college paid for to do that.
Yep. And if you listen to players talk, most players don't like kickers and punters because while they're working out and dying through workouts, they're on the sidelines kicking footballs and playing and jacking around.
Do they get paid the same?
If you're really good, you get paid good. But if not, though, they don't get paid quarterback money, but they get paid millions of dollars.
Well, collegiate players don't get paid.
Yeah.
They just get free education. So.
Yeah. I've always wondered, and I've watched the game for quite a while. Our rugby league players obviously is similar. They've got the ball, they're running forward, but we pass the ball, and they can pass the ball as many times as they like. Why? I've seen this every now and again with gridiron, American football, that you don't quarterback just doesn't have to pass it once. You guys can actually pass it a couple of times. Is that correct? And if it is, why don't they do it more?
You have to throw it backwards the multiple times. You can only throw it forward once. When you throw it forward, that's it. But you can. It's called a lateral. So you can just keep throwing backwards and backwards multiple times. But you don't do it that often though, because you mess up once, you lose the ball, and the other team has the ball with good field position. It's turnover.
So if it ever passes the line of scrimmage, you cannot throw it forward.
Yeah.
Only backwards.
Okay.
And you can throw it back any time as you want.
Yeah, it's just risky. And I say football is a game of like they don't like risk in football. They're more about the sure thing. So it's just an added risk that they can add to it.
And one of the old sayings in football a long time ago, a lot of coaches didn't like the forward pass because only 3 things can happen with a forward pass, and 2 of them are bad. Okay, you can either complete it, which is good, incompletion is bad, interception is bad. So a lot of teams back in the old days, they wouldn't throw the ball because the odds were against you. Now, as you know, it's pretty much football is down the field.
You got wizards as quarterbacks now, and like Patrick Mahomes, who is a freak of nature. Who can stand flat-footed. He can go backpedal and throw a ball 80 yards, which is unheard
Insane.
of.
There's no other rules bar pushing it forward. I'm sorry, when you push it back and you're going for goal, who can actually do the touchdown? Is that anyone on the side or not? Or is
They actually announce beforehand. A lot of people can score, but they have to announce beforehand that this guy's eligible to score. But normally, the only people that can score, unless it's a fumble, is the quarterback, running back, and receivers, tight ends. Unless if there's a fumble and then picks it up and runs it in, that's a touchdown. But they can't give him the ball just to give him the ball though. Like they have to announce that he has to get the ball. But pretty much, only people that can really score is the quarterback, receivers, running backs, and tight ends offensively. Defensively, if they get the ball and they go off the way, anyone can score that way. But they have to take the ball and go back with it.
Now, I just throw this in here, and Glenn and I talk a fair bit about this money in sport, and while you're talking about fans and people that you admire, Tom Brady from the Patriots recently signed a $50 million deal for 2 years to move to Tampa Bay. Now, Glenn and I spoke about this the other week, and we just said absolute sellout. If I was a Patriot fan, I'd be absolutely gutted. Glenn, you were the same?
Yeah, I just think that the only way he should have been down to that side is if he was cut and they said, look, you're at that age, even as great as you are, you're the best player of all time. You go there and you give back to this team and give back to the sport.
Yeah. So the reason why the Patriots are so good is because they don't pay old players. Like they trade away their good old players before they get washed up. And Tom, he wanted to get paid, and they didn't want to pay him. So he left, and I follow a lot of Boston fans, and they actually don't hate Tom. Because they still think they're going to win because they have Belichick, so they still think they're going to win. And they're still rooting for Tom to be good, which is crazy to me, but he's 41 years old, so they're they know it's probably a good thing that he left, and they didn't pay him $50 million because he's 42 years old. Yeah, so I mean that's he's 42 years old playing quarterback, and so they don't hate him. They actually want him to do good, but they still think they're going to win because they have Bill, and Bill is the best coach of all time. So
pretty much he's getting paid.
Right, that's for how old he is. That's ridiculous how much money he's getting.
And the Patriots weren't going to match it.
Yeah,
the Patriots would not. So he went to the highest bidder, which is one of the reasons why I think college football is more popular than a lot of pro. It's not about money; it's about playing the game.
We talk about it this quite regularly on our show that we just think all sports people are just totally way overpaid. Whether it's football, whether it's tennis, we've got doctors and
ridiculous
people out here trying to save people's lives.
$5,000 a minute as a soccer player.
Yeah.
I think 5 minutes.
Say Forbes said that Ronaldo would be the first player ever to get $1 billion. Ronaldo's going to average $1 billion for his career. Yeah, it's crazy. Poor guy, $1 billion.
Well, that's why a ticket to get into there is $150 or whatever it is. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Now, listen, guys. Just recently, when all the sports had stopped across the globe because of Corona, there was one guy. He's a YouTuber in the United States, and Glenn, I can't remember who it was, but we got a lot of media coverage over here because he was really talking up the AFL game because there was nothing else to watch. And have you heard of this guy? And is it a popular sport over there? Are people starting to watch it a bit more?
It's like I'm pretty sure the guy you're talking about is Pat McAfee, and the reason why it got popular for 2 weeks or so because when everything canceled here, your sport was still going on, so people were watching it more because that's the only thing live to watch. Everything else was done, and the last thing to get canceled, I think, was AFL. So and he was on his radio show / podcast, hyping y'all up pretty much to watch it because one, it's fun to watch, and two, it's like it's the only thing we have left to watch. So I mean that was a big deal for a couple weeks here.
So hungry for sports here. We would watch turtles race.
Yeah, we're watching NBA players 2K right now. We're watching right now.
But it's a fun game to watch. I know that it's played on the largest athletic field anywhere. I mean, I think soccer fields can fit on it almost twice. Football fields probably 4 times.
Yeah, but there's double the amount of players too, right?
Yeah, there's double. But I mean, it was enjoyable. You're sitting on a Saturday night at 11 o'clock and flipping through looking for some sports to watch, and it came on, and I was really interested and really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it on. I don't know why else. ESPN hasn't continued that. I'm not happy. There's better sports across the world. I think Australian rules football, rugby. That I think if ESPN would get behind it, it would be a lot more popular in the United States.
Just like to thank our sponsor, guys, Corey's Garden and Landscaping. He's our major sponsor of the Friday Frothy. So thanks, Corey. You guys, if you're in Hobart, you've got anything to do in your garden, whether it be decks, landscaping, anything at all, give Corey a call. And
Cody's Garden and Landscaping. For your home and landscaping needs.
Thanks for being with us today, guys. The folks from the Sooner football fans over in Oklahoma. We've had a bit of a problem here with Glenn dropping out, and I don't know if you guys are having the same problems, but we are struggling with internet here in Australia because everyone is at home online.
It's all Corona's fault. It's all Corona's fault.
Actually, since he's dropped off, we don't have a delay anymore. A while ago, it was really hard a little bit earlier because we were all talking with a delay.
Yeah, and Glenn's a troublemaker. Full stop. Bloody Hawthorn supporters. And now listen, a little bit about you guys. Where'd you come from? How did you start? And how long have you been doing your podcast for?
We started our podcast in February 2017. We're 2018. Sorry, the lovely Teresa, our producer, just corrected me. Rob is my best friend. We've been friends for 20 some odd years, for a long time. We met because Caleb and his young middle son Michael played gridiron together in Little League, and he and I were the coaches. And just watching,
They all thought you were brothers too, because everyone thought they were brothers.
everybody thought we were brothers, but
I'm the better looking one.
yeah. We listen to sports radio. We watch, sport ESPN and stuff. And one night, we'd talked about it for a long time. And one night,
It was a Rose Bowl trip. It was one of some podcasts on a Rose Bowl
we
trip.
were sitting there and you know what? We need to do something like this. And so we looked in. My wife was telling me I should do a podcast together with Caleb and me and Rob. So we looked into doing it, and we bought the equipment. Our first podcast had a grand total of like 10 downloads.
Yeah.
2 years into it, a little over 2 years into it, we've got almost 175,000 downloads on our shows. We have over 6,000 Twitter followers. 4,000 page followers on Facebook. We have a Facebook group that has over 3,000 people on it. And we're kind of a big deal, at least in our own mind.
Legends in our own
our
mind.
group.
Yeah, we're legends in our own mind. So,
And I guess I'm his son. I'm the youngest of
Caleb's.
3, and probably I've been a diehard sports fan all my life. So I used to, when I was a kid, instead of watching SpongeBob when I woke up, I woke up in Town Sports Center and watched sports. And then I still, to this day, my life revolves around sports pretty much. So yeah, actually, when we went to a Rose Bowl a few years ago, that's when we first started. I introduced my dad to podcasts, and that's kind of like the idea too, because with some podcasts, guys, they just mess around, joke around, talk about sports.
Yeah, okay.
And we're like, why can't we do that? I got a question real fast. I don't know if y'all asked this. What team do you follow? And are they like the team in Australia, or are they like a lower tier team? What team is your favorite team?
No, I first of all, Glenn, he's not here, so I'll speak for him. He goes for the Green Bay Packers. I go for yeah, no. All right, don't laugh because I know you're gonna laugh.
Yeah,
I go for the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
I mean,
said don't laugh.
They were.
Andre Reed,
So Rob
Jim
was like-
Kelly. Yeah,
So you hate the Cowboys then, right? You hate the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah,
See, what was it? 55-10 in 1992, was it?
I'm sorry. Well, hang on a minute. I got something wrong with you. And Miami. I can't stand Miami either.
Yeah, Miami. The Dolphins. You like the
Yeah.
Dolphins at all?
No.
It's because of Marino. You
Yeah.
like Marino?
Oh, just because they beat us all the time. Very, very annoying. Very annoying. So, do you reckon you guys will get a start this year? I mean, it's who's to bring out a crystal ball, but are they talking it up that the season will start? They reckon this will be gone.
It's looking bad right now. It's because we're college, they need to be on campus here soon, and like the pros will probably start on time, and they can work around it better. But with students, it's a lot to get it happen. And as of right now, let's say probably a 40% chance it starts on time.
Yeah.
I think that's high.
And then, did you see what Leon said about they'll be fine playing in January if they have to?
Yeah,
I mean,
they might postpone it. The issue is with college athletics is the students,
Mhm.
okay? And if they don't open up the campus, then they're not going to allow sports to play. And the University of Oklahoma is shut down until July 31st, right now.
Mhm.
Yep.
So all students are doing online courses, all campus activities, whether football camps, basketball camps, baseball camps,
close.
alumni club association meeting, all have been canceled until July 31st.
Mhm.
So, and that's 1 month before kickoff of football season. Now, the coaches will tell you, you don't, if they're, the players are working out at home and stuff, the coaches will tell you that, hey, 4 weeks is plenty of time to get in football shape. So, that if they get the green light August 1st for the season, they can start it. But there's rumors going around that they're going to cancel non-conference games in college, which would, most colleges play
First
their
4 weeks.
non-conference games the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they just go straight to that.
So there's talk that they'll just drop all non-conference games and all college teams will play a conference schedule.
Now, just you're cracking a few tinnies there, guys. I just want to let the people know here. What time is it there at the moment?
What time is it, Rob?
It's 10-11.
10 p.m.
On a Saturday night, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday night.
night.
And I'm throwing them back
You're
on a Sunday
talking to
morning.
us. Yeah.
Well, guys,
We're
it's
in
been
the
an
back.
absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah.
And,
Can I share one? Can I share one more thing with you?
Yes, please.
Real quick. Okay. One of the reasons why your fans should if they want to watch American collegiate gridiron football is the Oklahoma Sooners is the greatest collegiate team out there. Okay, and we got numbers to back it up.
Yeah.
in the modern era, we are the winningest team in the modern era, which is basically since the Associated Press has been in play. Okay, Oklahoma owns the longest winning streak in college football history at 47 straight games. Oklahoma has won 47 straight games from 1953 to 57. They lost to Notre Dame. Here's the weird kick on it. They lost to Notre Dame in 1953. They won 47 straight games, and in 1957, they lost to Notre Dame again.
Yep.
Their loss to kick off the winning streak was to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame ended the streak. But
Comes to Heisman's. We're tied with Notre Dame for most Heisman's.
Yeah, we have 7 Heisman Trophy winners.
Which is best. Heisman is the best player in the country. They get that award at the end of the year, best player in the country. We have 7 of those. We should have like at least 8 or 9.
But Oklahoma Sooners, they're
Joe Washington
one of the greatest storied programs in college football. So go YouTube them, listen to our podcast about it. It's an amazing program, an amazing thing that the university has as far as not just football, but all athletics. But American football, it's one of the greatest programs out there.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And anyone listening and watching out there, guys, make sure you do jump onto the podcast. Sooner Football Fans. We'll have links down below, and also on our Facebook page. I keep sharing all your stuff on there as well, guys. So I enjoy listening to it. I love watching your game, and it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you this afternoon or this evening in your time. And I'm hoping that we will catch up again soon.
Yeah, hopefully sports are back when we catch up.
Yeah.
We actually talk about real sports and not about the coronavirus.
Be nice too. And then Buffalo Bills have a great season. I've got something to talk to you about.
They actually Brady's gone to win the division. Very possible. Got Josh Allen.
So my apologies for Glenn dropping out. But yeah, big thank you from him as well. And yeah, it's been great to talk to you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Guys, after my reviews, you're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.